Philippe Guzman says, how can I speak without fear in English? And there are a couple of different ways to talk about this. And I want to focus on two, okay? So the first thing is what I guess we could call a hump. A hump is a bump. A bump is a hump. It's a thing that goes up and comes down. What you think is a towering mountain in front of you, this world of speaking English in front of others, is much more likely just a little bump. And let me explain what I mean by that. I said bump. I meant hump. Hump, bump, whatever. Just a little hump or bump. You think that this world of communicating with native English speakers is this scary place where you're always going to be nervous and afraid and not have confidence. In reality, what a lot of people find is after they get over the initial fear, the first few encounters, the first few situations where they have to communicate with native English speakers, especially if you make friends who are native English speakers, especially if you actually do it, you give a presentation, you say something in English. And I'm not saying the first time, but the first few. Once you get there, once you get over that initial fear and that initial bump, it's not like then the next thing is just as difficult. It gets easier. It gets comfortable. It gets natural. You gain confidence and you realize, hey, wait a second. I don't have to be perfect in order to try to express myself. If I make mistakes, actually, most people don't care. Native English speakers don't really care. That's interesting. Nobody's laughing at me. Nobody really minds. They can see that I'm trying my best. They can see that I'm trying to express myself. They may even respect me for trying. And actually, the only person who was really judging me was myself. Through their eyes, and I was looking at myself with the knowledge I have of myself and my own insecurities through their eyes. And in fact, they don't really have any of that at all. They don't care. They really, really don't care if I look silly or say something that's wrong or make a mistake. They don't care. I care. And then I project my care onto all of them. And I see myself through their eyes with all of the insecurity and fear that I have inside. So the first thing to realize is it's all you. It's all inside your head. It's 100% you and 0% anybody else. Because nobody cares if you make a mistake. Nobody is really sitting back judging you. Ha ha ha. And if they do, it's only for a quick second and then they're not thinking about it anymore. It is all in your head. So that's hopefully a relief. Then all you have to do is try a couple times and realize that for yourself. Do an event where you have to give a presentation. Join a conversation. Join a meetup group where you have to express yourself in English and try. Make some mistakes. Realize in your own experience that that's true. That making mistakes is not a big deal. What you'll find is, rather than it being this gigantic mountain of fear, you'll find that it's a little hump. Boop. Once you're over the hump, it doesn't mean you're better at English. Once you're over the hump, you notice, oh, this is not so bad. Oh, this is not so scary. Oh, I can keep trying. And then once you're over the hump, over the bump, then you'll find that you can actually improve faster, because as confidence improves, your abilities improve, your skills improve. You start feeling comfortable enough to use all the things that you've learned. Because the lack of confidence, fear causes you to freeze up. And when you're frozen with fear, then it's almost like your real abilities have been reduced 50%. A lot of people say, oh, when I get drunk, my English is so good. Well, if that's true of you, when I have 3 glasses of wine, my English is great. All right. That is proof. That is chemical proof that it's all in your head. If you feel more confident and you speak more naturally and you can speak without fear, when you have 3 glasses of wine, it's definitely in your head because the wine is in your body. So it's you. So just try something. Jump over that initial wall, and I think you'll see what I mean. So that's one thing. The other thing is to get over this feeling of fear, also related to attitude, but not just the initial thing, just in general. And I was reading, who was it? Socrates, about virtue, about what's good. And Socrates says that virtue is something that happens by habituation. Virtue is something that happens not by making a sudden decision, but virtue is something that happens because we get used to being virtuous. That's interesting, right? Think about that with your ability to communicate as well, and how you feel about doing that, right? If you get into the habit of saying an opinion to another human being, are you going to feel exactly the same way about doing that the 100th time that you do it compared to the first time that you do it? Probably not, right? When you did something for the very first time, you didn't know what you were doing, you felt a little nervous, and you maybe made some mistakes, and you didn't know what you were really trying to accomplish, and it was just a mess, and you felt bad about it afterward. But then after doing it for 5 or 6 months, this repeated thing, ice skating, riding a bicycle, playing ping pong, whatever, your job, after you've done it 100 times, it's no big deal. You feel so comfortable. What's the next challenge? This is easy. I'm used to this. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean your skills are improving, but just building the habit of always expressing a thought when you have the thought is extremely powerful, because it's going to get used to the feeling of speaking. And you can do that by yourself, and that's great, but the other part is knowing that someone is listening to you, waiting for you to respond. So I would encourage you to find situations where you can do it with others, where you can express yourself around other people. And you'll find, after you do it many, many times, that because it's a habit, it's no big deal. And then you can focus on, instead of that part, instead of, oh, I'm so scared, you can focus on, how do I say this? What words should I use? Pronunciation, and all of the skills that you want to improve that no longer gets in your way. So, find a thing that's difficult. Find a thing that you're afraid of, and tackle these 2 problems together. Identify the thing you're afraid of. I'm afraid of talking in a group of other English speakers. And then do that to prove to yourself that it's not that scary. But then keep doing the same thing until it becomes a habit. And you will feed 2 birds with 1 scone if you do that. And you'll find that you improve faster because you're feeling more natural and more comfortable. So I hope that helps. Guys, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button as well. I would really appreciate that. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to check out my full English courses. Some of them are 3 hours long. Some of them are 7 hours long. Some of them are 15 hours long. Check those out if you really want to improve your English. Seriously, those are in the links in the description.